This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here today with a bit of troubling news today, guys. As you'll see from my friend Lee Stewie, he recently tweeted this. Political commentator and Canadian Armed Forces vet Jeremy Mackenzie has been debanked. He can't enter a branch right now, he's not allowed to appeal this, and no reason has been given whatsoever. In case you didn't know, this is a man who started a fake country called Diagolon that encourages people to be fully self-sustainable and not reliant on the government. And this started to gain a lot of attention throughout the COVID-1984 scamdemic because a lot of people were looking into living an alternative lifestyle that was not reliant on the government. And this is the one thing that the government fears the most: a truly independent society made up of individuals who are fully capable of taking care of themselves without any kind of a reliance on the government. And that's why this even gained the attention of some of the members of the House of Commons in Canada, who quickly referred to this group, or more accurately, this idea, as extremist.
Diagolon.
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 Diagolon. Diagolon. A far-right extremist group.
We're talking about a group that is organized, driven by an extreme ideology.
A so-called accelerationist group.
Formed by a former member of the Canadian Armed Forces.
Which aims to accelerate racial conflict to lead to the eventual creation of a white ethno-state.
Its stated purpose is, quote, to incite a race war.
Oh my God. Dude. It's over. It's fucking done. Members of Parliament are talking about a meme. A meme to justify a state of emergency.
They're super country. Dude, did we predict this on one of the old fucking streams? Remember it's diagonal country all the way to Alaska? Dude, you know, here it is all the way from Florida all the way up, super diagonal country.
The Justin Trudeau regime declared war on a pretend country that doesn't exist.
So this pretend country now seems to be the main reason why the major banks have decided to cut him off. They don't want people to learn about how to be fully free and independent. They want you to be completely reliant on the nanny state. Just listen to this phone call that he recorded with his bank as they informed him that they would no longer be doing business with him.
Calling to give you just the courtesy of a heads up that you will receive a letter kind of early next week letting you know that the bank decided to end their banking relationship with you. The bank determined that this relationship is outside of its risk appetite. So typically we don't call customers in these situations, but I recognize you've been a long time client of the bank, so wanted to call to give you the courtesy of a heads up.
Which part of it is too risky for the bank? Is that my military pension?
I'm afraid I don't have any other details.
So they just send you. They just send the messenger guy right on.
Just the messenger here. So sorry about that. I understand the frustration. So also as part of ending the relationship, so as of today, you're not to visit any of the Scotiabank branches or bank premises in person without first getting written consent in advance from the bank, from management. So
I'm banned from the bank.
You first have to just reach out and get written consent before you physically come on to any bank premises as part of ending the relationship.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that there's no reason given for that either, and no one's accountable and there's no one to call for that.
I'm afraid, I don't have any other information beyond that. So again, that's really, those were the key things I wanted to let you know and wanted to give you this call just so that you had a heads up and you didn't just get that letter and not have the benefit of at least a heads up.
All right, well, I appreciate it. So just to recap, I'm being debanked. I'm banned from the bank. There is no reasons given. There is no one to contact, and that's it.
My friends, if this can happen to Jeremy, this can happen to anyone. I mean, let's not forget when the Canadian government froze the bank accounts of those people who were supportive of the Canadian Freedom Convoy. I interviewed the founder of Druthers newspaper about his account being frozen, and he still, to this day, does not have access to those funds that he raised for the truckers who were taking part in the Freedom Convoy. And let's not forget when the Canadian banks were secretly bailed out to the tune of billions of dollars back in 2008. This completely went under the radar. And of course, who could forget what happened in Cyprus back in 2013? When their economy started to tank, the big banks just very blatantly stole money directly from depositors' accounts. I did a report on that way back then. Check it out.
European markets were rattled today by events that occurred on the tiny Mediterranean island nation of Cyprus. The island is part of the European Union, and plans for the government to seize individual bank deposits set off outrage there. It also prompted worries about whether other nations could follow suit in time.
The Eurogroup and the International Monetary Fund have agreed a €10 billion rescue package for Cyprus, which is teetering on the edge of bankruptcy.
How on earth did they think they were going to get away with it?
I can't answer you what the thinking behind it is, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be something that they will regret for a long time to come.
The reality is that desperate times calls for desperate measures. No one likes to tax their bank depositors like what is being done in Cyprus, unless the alternative is that the Cypriot financial system collapses and takes the entire Cypriot economy with it.
Cyprus is nearly broke, and the social fabric is beginning to tear. Bank workers worried about their future blocked access to parliament. Lawmakers had to be lifted over the barricades.
The banks are closed right now. So if you want to avoid this, you couldn't take your money out today in any case. So it's either get the tax or get the collapse.
These are the people who are really suffering. They saved their money, they put it in the bank, and they believed that it would be safe. Then they woke up to find that their balances had gone down considerably, and they couldn't even get access to cash.
What happened?
There's no money, and I couldn't get any money out, and then my card won't come out.
No accounts, no cards, no nothing.
So what will they do?
God knows. Suicide.
Everybody should take this lesson from it. Your money is not safe in the banks. Don't keep more than what you need just from a day-to-day standpoint in the banks, because I don't care whether you're in England or in Europe or in the United States. If the banks get in trouble, they will take your money, the government will take your money, and so don't let them do it. Use cash to the extent you can. Don't use the banks. The banks are really your economic enemy.
You can have the money, but you've got to pay for it. That's German Chancellor Angela Merkel's message to Cyprus, where panicked savers are withdrawing cash from their accounts. The Eurogroup and the International Monetary Fund have agreed a €10 billion rescue package for Cyprus, which is teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. But a condition of the bailout is a one-off levy on bank deposits to raise €6 billion. At the helm of the EU's largest economy, Merkel says the radical measure makes sense. So we said, people who have their money in Cyprus's banks have to contribute to saving Cyprus. So everyone who has more than €100,000 in his or her account will be taxed by almost 10%. In so doing, the people responsible will contribute, not only taxpayers from other countries. And that is correct in my opinion.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You've just heard it for yourself from the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, as she stated that it is the correct thing to do to basically rob the people of Cyprus and to seize their personal assets, steal their private property by going into their bank account and taking out money in an attempt to deal with the failing economy there. Now, we all know that there's been a crisis of epic proportions in the Eurozone, failing economies as the debt bubble increases in Argentina, Italy, Spain, Greece. But what's going on in Cyprus is beyond austerity measures. This is beyond bank bailouts. This is robbing the people of Cyprus, saying you're the one who is at fault and therefore you are the one who's going to pay for this. So as you can see, guys, this is something we've seen before, but here now in 2023, things are different. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation currently has less than $200 billion in assets, and that's to insure over $9 trillion. That works out to only 1.3%. So a total collapse of the system is coming, and they know it. People are going to quickly start losing confidence in the banks, and if they all try to go there at the same time to try to get their money out, they're going to create a run on the banks, and they will quickly realize that their money isn't in there. All of the major central banks all around the world are preparing for exactly this right now. And one of the main ways that they're doing this is by purchasing as much gold as they possibly can. As we see here from the Mises Institute, central banks turn to gold as losses mount. In 2022, central banks will have purchased the largest amount of gold in recent history. According to the World Gold Council, central bank purchases of gold have reached a level not seen since 1967. The world's central banks bought 673 metric tons in 1 month, and in the third quarter, the figure reached 400 metric tons. That's a lot of gold, my friends. And the reason why they are acquiring so much of it right now is because they are preparing for an unprecedented time of monetary devastation. I mean, just look at what you get when you Google recession 2023. Here's the top 3 results. A recession might be coming, or economic barometer warns that a U.S. recession could come soon, or there's a 61% chance of recession this year, economists say. My friends, the big banks and the powers that ought not be are engineering this crisis right now, and they are currently getting all of their ducks in a line to ensure that they come out on top. This is why I've been stressing to get your money out of the banks now, before this coming engineered crisis has a chance to even happen. If Jeremy Mackenzie had have gotten his money out of the bank and moved out of the dollar and into something like gold that can be secretly buried, they wouldn't be able to touch him. Guys, this is a practical thing we can do right now to ensure that we don't get taken out in this next major financial crisis that's going to make the 2008 financial crisis look like a lovely walk in the park. And this is why I wanted to take a quick moment today to tell you about my friends at Patriot Gold Group. Guys, when you call the number on the screen, you'll get connected to a free investor's guide. This is a consultant who's going to help you set up a plan moving forward before this coming engineered crisis has a chance to even happen. And what these guys specialize in is IRAs and 401ks that are backed by precious metals like gold and silver. It's absolutely awesome. And even if you already have an existing IRA, that's okay. They'll roll it over for you, and you might even be eligible for a no-fee for life IRA. Again, if you call the number on the screen during business hours, you will get connected with a free consultant who will help you set up a financial plan moving forward. This is a preferred number for Press for Truth viewers, so you will get the preferred treatment, and this is benefiting not only you financially moving forward to protect yourself, but this is also helping myself in the field of independent alternative media to be able to continue the work that I do. So it's really truly a win-win scenario, guys. Again, if you call the number on the screen, you're going to get connected with top-notch people. They have the best customer service. They're actually rated #1 IRA gold dealer, and now 6 years in a row they've won the #1 spot in according to Consumer Affairs. So top-notch customer service, guys. Again, call that number on the screen or click the top link in the description below. Make sure you get help setting up a plan moving forward. Get your assets out of the dollar, get your money out of the bank, secure your future by investing in gold, guys. Call the number on the screen or click the first link in the description below. All right, guys, as we've shown you in this video, we're living in unprecedented times where the big banks can just completely cut you off, especially if you happen to be encouraging others to live a lifestyle that is fully independent of the government. So for just a quick recap, get your money out of the dollar, get it into gold, maybe a little bit of silver, and start focusing on how to maintain a self-sustainable garden as well. Because if you think egg prices are crazy right now, just wait to see what's going to be coming in 2023 if this parasite class gets their way. Don't forget to check the top link in the description to where you can find my friends at Patriot Gold Group. It's crunch time, guys. Get your money out of the dollar while you still can. And that's all for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please click that thumbs up button, share this video with your friends and family who you think need to see it the most, and stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming very soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.